Hey, this is Daniel with esunited.net, Esports United, and I'm here with Team EG. The SoCal LAN 5 just finished, and congratulations to Inca for placing second. That was an amazing series against Pain User. Um, what we'd like to talk about today is a little bit with your training, and you guys mentioned your boot camp before, so why don't you guys just start off with your experiences on your day-to-day and stuff like that?
Well, it's like one of the big advantages of being on a team like Evil Geniuses, where we have such tremendous sponsors like Intel, SteelSeries, and those kind of guys. We're able to get together in a house that is organized and developed for pro gaming. And coming up to this week, we knew this was going to be a really big LAN. We had weaknesses. Protoss versus Terran, very difficult matchup. Zerg versus Terran, Terran versus Terran. These were the things we needed to work on. So we did as much as we could in 1 week to work on that. And for some of us, there's a lot more success than others. But we're definitely looking at working hard in the future.
Anybody else have any input on your training? And
Well, my training was kind of rough for this past week because I had family come down and I was really busy doing a lot of stuff. So, and then I had to travel. I'm from Louisiana, so I traveled like all the way to Arizona, and then I practiced for like literally all day, one day with the EG guys, and we did nothing but just grind StarCraft 2. And then took a 9-hour drive here or something ridiculous like that. But it was a great experience. It was a fun LAN tournament. And I'm proud of each and every one of us for how we did, Some of us had better results than others, but, everyone has their day.
so what's it like to live in a house just filled with pro gamers? Because not that many people, especially outside of South Korea, get that kind of experience. So do you think that drastically improves your game? Or do you think sometimes maybe it's just a little bit too much? Things like that?
Well, the house was originally my idea. I figured that by pulling everyone together, putting us under a single house, we could, fully immerse ourselves in StarCraft 2, and that was what was going to give us the advantage upon, all of our competition. No other house inside the United States thus far exists, and so, just being able to wake up, see who's around, Inca, knowing that I have a tournament match, knowing I have to practice for someone like White Raw in my White Raw series, and being able to just sit there for 7-8 hours and play a specific matchup, kind of just talk with each other, and being able to discuss different strategies, get different viewpoints on it, makes it much more efficient and thus far much more effective.
What other? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't even live in the house, but I had the luxury of coming down for a couple of weeks, and we had a clan war, and just with machine pacing in the background, Kelby taking his smoke breaks in between stressful matches, the intensity is a lot more present than it is when you're sitting in your apartment or in your mom's basement, oh darn, I just lost. Well, I'll go talk to my friends. Here it's it's there. It's actually, it's kind of like the dugout in baseball, so to speak. It just ups the ante, so to speak. And even just even beyond that, just like Machine was talking about, just practicing and waking up next to guys who really want to. Well, not necessarily next to him, but in the same house. It just makes everything that much more developed and strong, and it really focuses your drive to do that. And as Machine said, we're the only house doing it right now, so it's kind of become like a little bit of the nexus, the mecca of StarCraft 2, and we're pretty excited about that.
Okay, as far as preparing for tournaments, you guys are an awesome team. You got a diverse group of players with different races and stuff. But for practice partners, do you guys actually play with other people from other teams, or maybe people that are teamless, or do you guys kind of keep that in-house?
We definitely have to practice with a lot of the other players. Because of our limited races, we only have one Terran. I'm the only Zerg. Well, I guess we have one more Zerg. Actually, no, you just switched to pros. Never mind, I'm the only Zerg. So we do have to train with a lot of players from different teams. Even in this tournament, we've trained with QXC the past week during our Gosu camp. He came to that. We've trained with Pain User. We've trained with Hawaii Rice. We try and pool the skills from all the different top players in the competitive scene at the moment. And it also allows us to train much harder for those specific players. We have replays of Pain User, we have replays of QXC, and as seen by Inca's series, it really helps to have that information. It really pays off.
How do you think that affects your gameplay, though? Because you know what, you train with these guys and you practice with these guys, and of course you guys are a team, but when you play with other people outside of it, are you kind of afraid that they might catch on to your strategies, or they might be worried that you're looking at their strategies? And Like, how does that affect the actual tournament once you get in there? Is there some kind of psychological thing that's going through your head? They might have seen this strategy before. They tried it out with you. They tested it with you. So I mean, there's a lot of issues going on with that. And how do you feel about that?
There's a lot to take into consideration when practicing with somebody you're going to be facing in future events. But also, you know that they know what you do, and you know what they do. So you can take that. Um, I don't even know what I'm saying, it's a joke, but you can take that information to your advantage and do something that they know or they're not accustomed to.
Well, it's also it's like an inherent part of StarCraft, right? Like, I mean, Counter-Strike teams, the 5 guys practice scrims against other 5 guys, and that's the core, like, what's going on there. We're a team of, like, 7 or 8, but at the same time, when we enter this tournament, like, if I'm playing Machine, I want him to lose, like, we practice together, I see him practice, he sees me practice. So like Inka was saying, that's something we work with, but just with StarCraft as a sport, like, this is something we've just always dealt with. So we build each other up, but then when it comes to tournaments, we're sad when we lose, but happy when it's us beating someone else. It's kind of a weird dichotomy, but we manage.
Okay, well, I know you guys are based in the United States, but do any of you guys have any aspirations to maybe move to Korea to see how the scene is over there, maybe become a pro gamer over there? Because, I mean, it's undoubtedly a lot larger scale, and in the United States it's growing, but, I mean, it's not to the same level. So do you guys have any plans to move over there?
We cannot ignore the absolute prestige and integrity that is Korea when it comes to esports. I mean, to tell you right now that we have plans or we're planning or wanting to move to Korea would be a little lofty, but that's certainly something that everyone that's extremely serious about esports, StarCraft 2 at the forefront of that, would take very strongly into consideration. And EG is not outside that consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I have a question about the state of the game, actually. In the beginning of the game, or before the game even came out, there was a lot of controversy about kind of an easy mode with auto mining and mass building select. But I mean, we're here at SoCal LAN 5. It's been a while since the game came out. You guys have gotten used to playing it. Do you guys think it was kind of overemphasized, or it's still an issue, or you guys just got used to it and just accept it how it is? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I guess I'm one of the people who at first was all against it. Being a very hardcore brood war player, I saw no advantages after seeing the kind of the Warcraft 3, the Command and Conquer play to MBS and auto mining. But I gotta say that it's not that big of an issue. There's definitely still, it's not like I'm just sitting around doing nothing for big points in the game. There's a lot of things that are still taking my attention other than constantly selecting workers and telling things to mine. And if anything, it kind of just streamlines the builds, makes them flow much smoother, and so you see a lot more of an advanced play due to it.
All
And I
right.
think there's a lot more development for the game to go through. Like, I was alongside Machine and a lot of other guys who looked at those things and was like, this is crap. It's making a really awesome hard game much more easier for the obvious goal of making it accessible to far more people. And being the elitist people that put in 12 years of hard work in a game, we didn't like that concept. But I feel like this game has a lot more theorizing to go, a lot more development to go. And I feel like certain developments down the road could really enhance this game too. They may or may not happen, but I think land latency is something we're really missing out on, being able to micro those units with spontaneous, direct reactions. But even without that, I feel like a lot of the shift that was control and APM has now gone to things like Machine just said, streamlining builds, or just executing far more cerebral and further developed builds, basically.
All right, here's a curveball for you guys. Who is the top 3 powerhouses on the planet? You guys pick.
Obviously, evil geniuses.
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking about teams or players?
Players.
Tester and
Hydra, Tester is an easy top 2.
Number 3?
maybe
That's a
Rainbow
toss-up.
or Gone.
Psionic Reaver.
White
Psionic
Raw.
Reaver.
There's guys like White Raw who's been consistently doing extremely well. It's as controversial as he is. Huck has been continually doing very, very well in the North American servers. But then there's always going to be that bias towards like Korean players, like even outside of Tester, people like Cool Fu, who I think he goes by like fruit vendor or something awesome like that. He's a fantastic Zerg player. Maka, a lot of the Terrans over there, like in Snare, just all killed. What was it? He either all killed Prime or some other team.
Yeah, I think it was Prime.
A freaking fantastic Terran.
Yeah.
So those are the guys at the forefront, I would say.
All right, let's wrap this up. Do you guys have anything to say to your fans?
Thanks for watching us. Thanks for supporting us, and keep cheering us on in the future.
Thanks for all the sponsors that made this possible. ESUnited.net. I mean, this tournament wouldn't be here if it weren't for Green Forest and the help of Intel and ESUnited.net. GhostCoaching.com for helping us be able to justify spending money to travel all the way out here, and Evil Geniuses and all their great sponsors like Intel, Steel
Just big
Series
shout
Genius.
out to EG. Thanks, EG.
All right, thanks, guys.
EG.net. Check us out.